Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to Legitimate Enterprises here on twitch.tv/lazybones.tv. We're happy to have you today, and I'd love to get right into the action after the very, very stressful episode that we had last week. Real quick before we get into it, we're going to go around and introduce our cast and crew for today's show. Duncan, who are you? Who are you playing? And what is your favorite Star Wars ship? Raylo doesn't count.
I'm done. What's up?
Raylo doesn't count. That's not a Star Wars ship.
Oh,
The other type of
that's
ship.
funny. That's funny. Anyways,
No one.
I don't trust anything that was started in the Last Jedi. So my name's Duncan Hunter. I'm playing Aaron Gunner, the human bounty hunter, and a slightly less mysterious boy. Favorite Star Wars ship? It's close for me between the Jedi starfighters, which I always grew up like, because I grew up, I'm a prequel kid. I grew up with like, ooh, I'd like to be a Jedi and I want to fly around in little triangles. But honestly, I got to pick the TIE fighter. I love the scream. I love the janky ass like super mass production design that they're putting these like highly qualified pilots in basically a circle with wings and then be like, it's okay, we have more. I just love them. I love everything about them.
I think you technically become a TIE ace if you survive a mission. I think that's like the only qualification. Excuse me. JL, who are you? Who are you playing? And what is your favorite Star Wars ship? And I just realized that you're in the wrong spot today.
Am I messed up again?
I was going to bring that up. You
Yes.
switched
Oh,
Exel
yeah.
and Echo again.
Curses.
Oh well.
We'll fix it in post.
I'm JL Holloway from Holloway Sideaway, and you can find me online at Hall Hideaway. I am playing Tabri Vetna, better known as Echo, our little bat boy mechanic. Favorite starship? I have an individual favorite, the Ebon Hawk from Knights of the Old Republic.
A classic.
Love it.
A classic.
As far as just general design, I love B-Wings, though. They're awesome.
B-Wings. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I love what Rebels did with it.
When I saw that episode of Rebels, no spoiler, but saw what the B-Wing did in that, I was aghast. My jaw dropped when that happened.
Absolutely.
That was intense. Okay. Necro, who are you? Who are you playing? And what is your favorite Star Wars ship?
Hi, I'm Necro. I'm playing Exel, the Zabrak sharpshooter. And I'm going to partially second the TIE fighter because that scream noise they make is really nice. Like, it's excellent sound design that they made for that. But despite what happened last session, I gotta say I love all of the like Star Destroyer type ships, the big wedges, something about the way they look when they come out of hyperspace. It's just so ominous, and it is perfect.
Space pizzas.
Space pizza.
I always thought they looked like a doorstop.
If you put them in a circle, you get a pizza.
You get a Death Star.
You get a Death Star.
Get a Death Star.
There you go.
I also think they're very ominous, and I mean,
No, I like them too.
I am slightly hungry when I see them, but I do think that.
Kelsey, who are you? Who are you playing? And what is your favorite Star Wars ship?
My name is Kelsey. I'm playing Vrel, the Trandoshan Doctor, and my favorite Star Wars ship, as I just learned the name of, is the N1 fighters from Naboo, the sleek little yellow fellas.
Nice. Yeah, those were my favorite too for a long time. I really
Look, they're real good looking,
Yeah,
right? If you're gonna fly a starship, it better be stylish, and Naboo had that on point.
Yeah,
and it should be yellow, which should be easy to shoot on a black background. But I'm just saying, not too camoed there. And
We have robot targeting. And
Say-
color doesn't matter.
No other ships are like all stealth.
say what you want about their economic policies, but the Naboo, they had their aesthetics on lock.
Oh, absolutely.
Precisely. Yes. Drake, who are you? Who you playing? And what is your favorite Star Wars ship?
I am Drake Finney. I am playing the Pantoran smuggler Jix Chow, who never does anything outlandishly wrong or anything. And from my childhood in Empire, when the TIE bombers came out and went
Oh.
across, and I mean, just I'm like, there's a guy facing the wrong way. I was 9 years old. It was like just, you know, I had to run out and get it to, try to find them. They weren't selling them by Hasbro that many, so we will not mention that I took my two TIE fighters, hacked it, and then welded them together because I wanted my bomber. But yeah, I just absolutely love these things, and just, I mean,
Yeah.
the sound, and then the fact that they're dropping bombs instead of doing strafing runs, I was just like, this is awesome. I want more.
The latest supplement for the Fantasy Flight Star Wars series of games is called Starships and Speeders. There are 17 different TIE variants in it. It's kind of nuts, and they're all very fun.
Pad Thai.
Yeah, I
Pad
saw one
Thai.
that I had no clue what it was. So
It's a landing pad.
And I am Lazy Bones. I the resident GM here. I play literally everyone else who's not the party. And my favorite Star Wars ship is a tie between the LAAT, used by the Grand Army of the Republic, or the U-Wing, first premiered in Rogue One. Those are both excellent ships because they both remind me of the Huey, used by the United States Armed Forces for a long time. So I really just like the look of that. Very specifically, my favorite one is General Plo Koon's LAAT, because he and his clones were known as Plo's Bros. And that makes me so happy. It's canon. Look it up. Plo's Bros.
Plo's Bros.
This is what happened when you make an entire species of young men just to be an army.
Yes, precisely. Plo's Bros. So let's get into a recap of what happened last week. Aaron Gunner, if you would like to take it away and recap the totally not stressful situation of what happened last week.
In honor of what you just said, a tense search by the Imperial Lieutenant Colonel Adamus found nothing. We were all ship shape, as it were. But they decided to still arrest the good Captain Undue for the Emperor Leopold. Anyways, trumping up charges of treason and leaving the craven first mate Rosnick in charge. The Imperial Security Bureau forces then turned their full force against the Emperor Leopold herself, choosing to sacrifice the crew in the glorious name of Imperial progress. The Emperor Leopold limped away under heavy fire, suffering major damage. Captain Rosnick called abandoned ship, using the shattered mining vessels for cover, and the captain himself going down with her. The crew of the Emperor Leopold escaped their dire fate, as the great pirate hunter was torn apart by the salvo of fire from the Imperial war machines. Drifting in space for some time, the crew concocted a plan. Gunner, using the still intact Z-95, would go to seek help. When Gunner went out after about a week of travel, he arrived at an obscure space buoy, punched in an old code on the back of a photograph, and then called for help from some old associates of his. These associates turned out to be affiliated with the Alderanian guardsmen who bought the weapons they had shipped from the Marquess. Who is this mysterious organization? What is the bounty hunter's secret past with them? Will DG1 discover what is not a rock? The answers to these questions and more on this episode of Legitimate Enterprises.
Excellent. Yes, so the remnants of the crew of the Emperor Leopold find themselves in the hangar bay of an old hammerhead cruiser captained by one J. Gilly, or Captain Gilly as he introduced himself. He stands looking at the somewhat stinky and sorry lot of the remnants. Sorry, the lifeboats don't have showers. And he says, "Well, I sure got y'all out of a pickle, didn't I?"
That's an understatement.
Well, why don't you just get off those old stinky lifeboats, go take some showers. We got lots of facilities to clean up. Get yourself a nice meal down in mess. Made brisket. It's good for you. When I heard I'd be having some company, I always like to feed them real good. He says, and he gestures for Aaron to come, like, talk to him in private.
I figured. Oh, damn it, now I'm impersonating his accent. I'm like a dad at a restaurant who just starts to talk like the waiter. All right.
It
I
hurts
do
me.
that.
It
You
hurts
hurt
me.
Yeah, Gunner nods and says, I'll be back. Gotta pay the man. Get yourselves all taken care of. These people will treat you right. They're on our side. Just don't get sucked in by what they say. They're pretty stupid. And then Gunner follows.
Well, imagine my surprise when I get a high priority beam from command telling me that the last surviving person from the Mistwalkers needs our help after his disgraceful exit. You know,
I don't know if I feel it was more mutual than that, but yeah, sure, disgraceful.
Well, you're lucky I'm the forgiven type, son. And he pats you on the shoulder. Now, there is the very interesting situation that we find ourselves in.
What do you want?
Well, and that is the fact, why in the hell did you get yourself blown up by a bunch of Imperials? I thought you were going to keep your nose clean.
You know, it seems like that's always the goal, you know, to keep your nose clean. And then wrong place, wrong time. Wrong side, wrong life, probably, for some of us.
Well,
it was Imperial Security Bureau. I don't know what the hell they got going on there, but they got some kind of special-ass ship. And they didn't like us existing.
Well,
Is there any exposed tech that would be of interest to Echo?
I'm trying to steal shit.
yeah.
No, he's just automatically drawn to things.
I don't
Yes.
have any other friends. I can't do that again.
I'm rubbing off on Echo.
The kleptomania. All right, Echo, go ahead and make me a medium perception check with a boost. See what you get.
I gotta put some more in my perception. It's horrible.
Oh, he's gonna run with that.
Classic boosts.
Yep, classic boosts. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely exposed panels and like interior wiring.
Something that would be new to Echo. Basically.
Not really, nothing new. I mean, the Hammerheads are old ships. They are...
Or anything that's obviously put together wrong.
Oh, okay. Yes, there are things that are very obviously put together wrong. Some, like... You notice that, like, one of the door panels is, like, on upside down. And you see a crewman, like, come up and, like, punch something in. And the door just, like, instead of opening, it, like... presses together a couple times, like goes back and then ka-chunk, and then it opens up, and then the crewman like sighs.
The whole time that they are talking over there, Echo is just gonna like very casually walk over there and start taking the panel off to turn it around. At any point that anybody tries to stop him in that process.
A couple of the crew, you notice that nearby a couple of the like deckhands, are, one of them like elbows another one and gestures over to Echo, but they don't try to stop you. They're just like, whatever, man. But Captain Gilly says, "Now, what's that little bat feller doing? Messing about
Probably
with my
just
ship.
he's probably just fixing your ship.
It's fixing. My ship doesn't need fixing though.
If
The
Echo's looking at
panel's
it,
on
believe me, it does.
And then Echo will just start pointing. That's not right either. Who put this together?
Look,
Look, Captain Gilly, just give him rain for a little bit while we talk.
right.
It's how he copes.
Echo's like code enforcement.
Walk. I would like to like continue walking with Gilly because I do not want the rest of the party to like hear what I'm talking about here.
Yeah,
Possible.
he kind of starts leading you down some hallways. It's like the ship once was clean a long time ago, and it looks like they've tried to keep it clean, but just
It's like the cracks. Nobody gets that like little detail.
Exactly.
Where, you know, it's like a kitchen.
They'd really benefit from a power washer in here. It's the same sort of aesthetic as the Emperor Leopold had. It's like this thing. It's not neglect. It's just years and years of service.
I feel like that's just the way military ships kind of end up.
Yeah, precisely. It's just years and years of service. Not a lot of time for not enough downtime to keep everything up to the white glove standard, as it were. But he leads you, out of the hangar bay, while the rest of you, a younger woman with a tight braid that kind of goes around her shoulder. She comes out into the hangar bay and says, "Everyone, if you'd like to follow me, please, I can show you to some temporary quarters, and you can get yourselves cleaned up." But Captain Gilly says, Gunner, you have a habit of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I hope you know that, right?
Yeah, I'm acutely aware. Look, I figured when I made the call that it would cost me something. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't really want any of them having to be involved in your big crusade if they don't have to be. So I made the call. Most of that crew is they're just a crew on a pirate hunting vessel that doesn't exist no more. Simply dropping them off at any port should be fine.
Well, payment is payment.
Your debt's with me.
You walk into his office. Again, it's very small. There's a desk, a terminal, a chair for him, and then a chair on the other side of the desk. And he gestures for you to sit down. And he sits down on the other side and opens up his drawer, pulls out a bottle of a brown liquor, puts it down, pulls out 2 glasses, pours you one, pours himself one, and puts it back down. And he says, "Now look, I ain't asking you to join my crusade. I know you're done with all that. But I would consider this payment in kind, a favor for a favor. You see, we're headed to a planet that's not so stable under Imperial rule right now. And there is one person who's keeping all that together. And we would appreciate if you, and maybe your crew too, or, that group of troublemakers you call your crew, could assist in..."
What's the target?
Now, you are looking for Administrator DeRosa on Ord Mantell. That's where we're off to. But if we can get you to do this gives us a certain amount of deniability. I know a man there who owes me a debt. You can cash that in, do the job, get yourself a ship, be back out on the galaxy before you know it. All I need you to do, and he pulls out a small storage device. All I need you to do, he puts it down and slides it across the desk to you, Aaron, is get that into Administrator DeRosa's personal system. That's all I need you to do.
You want the target alive, then?
I would prefer he didn't even know that you were there.
Oh, all right. That makes it a lot harder. All right.
Sorry.
I'll need whatever intel
I
you have
imagine in
on
the
his...
background you hear something really loud clanging. Sorry.
I'll need whatever intel you have on the place. I'll need I'll need your local contact. How are we getting on world?
Well, you see, we're technically just a modest shipping vessel delivering some medical supplies to Ord Mantell because, things aren't doing too hot there, in case you didn't know. But, so that's your official cover, is that you're part of my crew now. And we're going to drop some things off, and you and your little band of rascals are going to go AWOL. And you're going to do this for me. And then you're going to cash in that favor with a very, very unscrupulous ship dealer. He's a Duros named Jeg. Mm-hmm.
All right.
He runs Uncle Jeg's Fix-It Shop.
I don't need the whole crew for that. Frankly, having, 20 odd people?
Yeah, it's like 25 people.
Yeah. I do not want all 25 of those people on world. I got a select group of people that from that crew that I think would be good for this job. The rest, I don't want setting foot on that world.
Well, I mean, if they want to stay aboard, they can. We're always looking for more hands. But
nope, I don't want them to join your crew neither. Are there any worlds between here and there? Any not damaging worlds, or do I not know where I am enough?
You don't really know where you are in the galaxy. Yeah.
On the way leaving, on the way back, I'd prefer. Obviously, they can do what the hell they want. It's not my problem after I'm off the ship, but I'd prefer that you just drop them off at the nearest Imperial-friendly spaceport. They're citizens. They're not a part of this. Don't try and recruit him. As I said, I don't want him part of your crusade.
Well, you got
You
it.
can honor that. You got a deal.
And he slides the glass of liquor over to you, picks up his own, holds it out to a toast. Rekindled friendships. And he smiles very slyly around his glass as he drains it.
I wait for him to drink, and then I drain as well.
Yes.
How fast does he drain his drink?
He just shoots it.
All right, I drain it faster.
Yeah.
Let's establish the power.
Yes.
All right.
Meanwhile, the rest of you are shown to very, very sparse quarters, even less comfortable than those aboard the Emperor Leopold. Instead of 4 people to a general bunk area, it's now triple bunks. So there's 12 people crammed inside the same space as you had before aboard the Emperor Leopold. So it's a lot more claustrophobic. But
not after the few days on the life raft.
That's true.
Yeah,
but
this is heaven.
It's clean and dry, and there are refreshers that work, and non-space lambus bread to eat. True to his word, there is Nerf brisket being served in the mess hall. It's like a celebration of sorts.
Congratulations, you lived.
Yeah, congrats, you lived.
My mom always told me when it comes to brisket, it's really Nerf or nothing.
I'm gonna throw you off the ship.
How dare
Sorry.
you? How dare you?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't do this.
But the surviving crew of the Emperor Leopold, they are all kind of sitting to themselves. And most of the people aboard the Hammerhead are of a distinctly more military bearing. Even though they might be posing as, we're just a simple shipping vessel, no, that's not the case. So is there anything y'all would like to do? Any conversations, or do we want to move ahead?
I'm showering a long, long time.
You get like 7 minutes of hot water, and then it's like tepid.
I think Verl's
I'll
just
live
happy
with
to be
that.
able to stand
I'm
up straight.
Fine, yeah.
Those had to become
Every
work for the
nook
wiki.
and cranny is getting cleaned between the nails.
I
Ooh.
don't wanna hear about
I
it.
don't want to think. I don't want to think about Jix's nooks and crannies.
Yeah, especially not the crannies.
Taking each time.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
There's running water. So.
Is there singing?
Yes.
Oh,
Bet you there is.
He's got one of those like face masks on, you know, that Patrick Bateman wears in the beginning of American Psycho, like the cooler mask that you put in the freezer.
Yeah.
I wear this mask because it reduces the puffiness around my eyes.
Exactly. Gotta be pretty.
Yeah, gotta have that routine.
Just let me know when I'm back in the room.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to interrupt any roleplay or anything.
Is Jix a fan of that? What's that? Sai Snoodles? Is that her name?
Ooh, he would be. Mhm.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
the chick who was like Zero's girlfriend or whatever.
Yes.
That, yeah. To be fair, she is a good singer.
Yeah, she is. She's a
I
great singer.
remember watching with my roommate Return of the Jedi for the first time, and I kept pointing out everything that was added. And when I said, "Oh yeah, this whole music video sequence was added," she's like, "Why did he add this?" And I'm like,
'Cause it's
it
good.
was his original art.
Yeah, it was his vision, and the tech wasn't there to support it. So,
To be fair, I love it, but still.
Mhm.
D1G Dig is sticking close to Echo, as he's formed a bit of a bond.
Aw.
Yes.
Oh boy.
So, this is a fancy new ship. It's much better than that old one, yeah?
Yeah, well, it does need some work.
Well, everything needs work around these parts. We're in the Outer Rim. Everything always needs work.
It keeps me busy. It keeps me focused.
What would you do if you didn't have anything to keep you focused?
I don't know. There's always something broken.
The only thing he one day will find to fix. Oh.
D1 responds, "Ain't that the truth?" And he just kind of goes in standby mode on the table.
Actually, are there any other droids around?
There's a couple other astromechs. There's like an astromech or two that kind of roam around. There's a very haughty protocol droid. It's kind of, waddling around, making sure everything is ship shape. But nothing like super exotic.
Yeah.
No.
Do they have restraining bolts?
They do not have restraining bolts on. I know how much of a fan Echo is of Droid Revolutions.
Echo has a big problem with restraining bolts.
But anyway, the time settling in on the new ship, most of the survivors of the Emperor Leopold just kind of sullenly eat their Nerf brisket and then go find themselves a cot to crash in.
Before everybody splits up, Gunnar would come in and explain the situation.
Sure.
He'd he'd sort of gather everybody around. He's like, "All right, what was the name of the planet? I can't type my normal notes with my gloves on. I will take them off in a little bit, but
Yes, you're committed to the bit. I can appreciate.
I'm committed
that.
to the bit. Yeah.
Yes. So the next planet they're landing on is Ord Mantell.
Got it. This ship is making a stop at Ord Mantell. It is a relatively tumultuous Imperial world. I would not suggest getting off there, but afterwards they'll make stops in regular ports. I suggest you all get off there. I would not suggest staying on this ship. These people are willing to help us, but they do dangerous work. It's not the kind of work that any of you should be involved in. Different kind of danger than what we're used to. Nastier danger. Similar to the danger we encountered. In price, myself and a team are going to be leaving on that first stop planet. I do not expect to see any of you again. I am glad to see you all now that you did not die. Let's see, for the team, I'd like to assemble, let's see, I'll need a mechanic. I'll need someone who's like kind of buff and a bit of a bruiser. I'll need a sharpshooter and a medic. So I'm going to get Grease. I'm going to get Saeed Maestos. I'm going to get Zoth Neandora. And I'm going to get Voke. That's the right number of team. And I think they can just pull this off.
All right, everyone. If you check your email, I sent you all character sheets.
I'd play Vogue.
I was just about to say dibs.
Oh wait, darn it! Zaid didn't make it. That throws the whole team dynamic off. Cannot do that anymore. Have to go with the B team.
The B sides.
I was gonna say Holloway and I could sit there and both play Greases, you know.
It's like, Greases now just start popping up again. It's like,
hey, one of them made it out with the egg sac. So, I mean,
The hive continues.
this ship could have a real infestation before the week is over.
okay, that's not my
Oh,
problem.
yes.
That's not Gunner's problem.
New plan.
No, Gunner.
Oh, good. Grease did survive. I was worried about that, honestly.
New plan? What the hell? When have we had one in the first place?
Before this goes into aliens, I'm gonna not Aliens the species, but like Aliens the movie. Before we have to deal with that, because game over. But Gunner is going to individually approach. He sort of said it like, I will be dropping off there. That is part of the deal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not going to see any of you again. And then he's going to individually approach player characters and talk to them about, I've got a job. It's the price for here. I could use a team. If you're in, I'd appreciate it. Gunner does think he can do it alone, but he would like the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to role play that out, or do you want me to just wave it?
I mean, if you guys want to, I mean, I would imagine that everyone's going to say yes. I hope.
I mean, no, just throw a wrench in your plans,
Nope.
buddy.
All right.
Echo would only have one question.
All of us.
I think Gunner would walk up to Echo first and be like, "This is the job. We got to plant this thing. I'm an Imperial administrator. It's dangerous work, but I could use somebody with your knowledge."
Am I gonna get shot again? I don't want to get shot again.
I'll be honest, buddy. Not if I can help it, but we're going to a dangerous place.
Is that's another point A to point B mission?
This is sort of a point A.
We're getting good at those. I think that's our specialty.
This is like a point A to point B, but B is a really dangerous place, and then point C. No, I don't think it's a point A to point B.
Oh.
Okay. More of a reverse fetch quest.
I think we'll be good. Exel's really good at shooting stuff, and Jigs would talk us out of problems, and the doc will save us.
All right, I'll go to them. I think he would probably go to Exel next. You're a good shot. I'm looking for a team. It's dangerous work.
Might as well. I don't want to really stick around on this ship too much longer.
Feel you there. Then I guess he would go to Vogue, or not Vogue. Well, more likely, but for story purposes. Then I would go to Vrel. I don't think he. Sorry, Drix. I don't think he would go to Jix. I want to be honest. I cannot.
Jix just invites
Yeah,
himself.
yeah, exactly.
He just
that's
fully
what's gonna
expects
happen.
Jix to be there.
I can be totally honest. If I don't know that Jix has any good contacts on this planet, all I know is that Jix causes Aaron problems. There's a simple
fair.
algorithm in his head of if person cause problem, do not invite on suicide mission. And
I was
Jix,
totally just gonna walk out and start following.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm still
that's
telling
in
myself
character.
off. You know?
so,
He's still in the shower.
Yeah.
He's not even here.
No, he stole someone's like
towel.
terry cloth robe, and he has his a towel wrapped around his head.
Yes. Totally.
Exactly. It's just
Mhm.
got
No,
a
I just-
file. Like
I love the entire idea that Aaron goes around and tells us all about this big dramatic plan, and then Jix has no idea the entire time, and then we get off the ship and he just follows us off. It's like, all right, so where are we going?
old habits.
so I guess he'd go to Vrel next. He's like, Vrel?
Rel, with an overlarge plate of Nerf biscuit, looks up. I suppose you're here to ask me to join you.
Yeah, we're in kind of a small room. I assumed you heard. Look, though we don't always get along, I could use some. This is a dangerous mission, and I could use somebody to make sure that Echo doesn't die.
Oh, playing the Echo card.
One eye does roll down to Echo for a moment, just like,
Does he have like the Puss in Boots eyes? In the...
It's so cute and small. God.
It's like, I've seen you handle yourself in a fight, so I know you won't be in trouble there. Frankly, you're quiet, which is something we need for this mission, and you can stitch us back together. I won't ask you to do anything you don't want. I won't ask you to hurt anybody you don't want to. This is a simple drop mission.
So not a hit then.
No, it's not a hit. I haven't been super detailing explain the mission because there's a lot of crew members and is around us,
yeah.
and it's a very confined situation. So
I
I
get
wanted
that
to,
as a player, yeah.
yeah, I wanted to address that to Mike as well. That I haven't been like,
Oh yeah.
I am going to put this in an Imperial administrator's backpack. Like, I'm not gonna
Oh yeah. Of course.
tweet it.
Send tweet.
Vrel looks considerate for a moment, but then nods slowly. In the interest of not having any outstanding debts, I suppose I could join.
But dear,
He nods and goes back to shoveling meat into his face. Hungry.
Hungry.
Look,
Better
how do you
than-
expect a 7-foot tall Trandoshan to live off of space limbus?
Yeah, I know.
This is the first time I've been able to stand up in weeks. That was the worst experience.
I'm very glad because otherwise I feel like there'd be a crew member missing. But
Phew.
Hey now.
No, I'm sorry. Last thing that I am the Gunner is like, I assume that Gunner like got the details of the job from the person he needed to.
Yes. The details of the job, is basically whatever's on that drive needs to be injected into the administrator's like personal HoloNet. So basically, you need to drop. You can put 2 and 2 together. There's probably some very incriminating evidence on this space flash drive, storage disk that needs
Don't
to
sneeze on it.
Yes, and you need to upload it onto their computer or onto their, like storage device.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So like a personal data pad is like it where.
Presumably he has some kind of basically like personal network.
Yeah, so any of the devices that he owns
Would be connected to like some kind of cloud type thing.
Yep,
Or whatever.
it's all in the cloud.
Or some kind of big drive,
So I'm asking for details on that kind of stuff. I want to know, what are the points of access? Do we have to be at a specific geographic location?
Mhm.
Could we pickpocket him and steal his data pad? Could we, like, I need to know, how do I access this network in order to get it onto it?
That is the only
Good
information
question.
that, yeah, exactly. When
All right.
when you ask those questions of Captain Gillig, is like, that's an excellent question there, Gunner, because I have no crumb clue.
Gunner is having a great day. He doesn't. He wonders why he left this brilliant organization. All right.
I
With
suppose
no-
I assume the intent is more, we got to do some recon.
Gunner would like, yeah, but Gunner would prefer his recon to be done ahead of time.
College, fair enough.
Gunner is a little, does not necessarily enjoy the organization that he is getting help from right now. So
Oh, really?
he's got some
Really?
personal problems.
I kicked up on that.
Well, it's a human emotion. So,
Fair enough.
Is that bitterness I taste?
Mmm. Delicious.
Gunner. Okay. Gunner would ask any details about the administrator that he should know. Any, do they know? Or will the contact know more? I guess is all he's going to ask. If if Captain Gilly is,
Yeah. Captain Gilly is not. He's like, son, I've never even been to Ord Mantell, so Uncle Jeg is going to be your best bet if you want to find out some stuff about that.
Jeg. And then he would go do the whole speech shit. So. Or speech struck. Sorry, I'm using a lot of real world swears right now. Give me.
But with the team on board, well, 4/5 of the team on board with a reluctant fifth. Well, not even reluctant, clueless fifth. The Hammerhead makes landfall on Ord Mantell. It is a lush alpine planet with lots of mountain ranges that kind of streak across the planet. But you make landfall in the capital city. Let's see. Yes. Let me find some stuff. Yep. Just the capital city is just called Ord Mantell City. It's large. It's got several million people living there. And it sprawls for kind of miles out from the spaceport. And the Hammerhead doesn't even get any second looks. It's just another ship coming in, bringing in essential supplies. But you land, supplies are offloaded to a rather unscrupulous-looking deck officer. And you can see very, very easily that Captain Gilly, speaking with the deck officer, you notice him slip a cred stick. And the supplies, without even being inspected, are loaded onto some carts and taken off. Yes, Aaron.
There is a bit of cargo that Aaron cares a lot about. It is his ship.
The Z-95.
And I have to find a way to get this ship off of this other ship. So I have a ship. There's another ship. Would it, judging by the kind of cargo that's around and the kind of things, would this craft stick out like a sore thumb?
No, actually, as you're looking around. Why don't you actually go ahead and make me someone make me an easy knowledge underworld check, as you're just kind of looking around the spaceport. Anyone can do it.
I'll try it. I've got good int.
Schmort.
I am smart. It's true.
Big brain.
Big brain Vrel.
Got that success in the end.
There you go. See? Vrel, you notice that there are a lot of people here just like walking around the spaceport and the surrounding area. There's a lot of people here sporting like gang tattoos. Mostly, and these gangs mostly are under the or affiliated with the Black Sun criminal syndicate.
Ah, a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, precisely.
Smells like home. Rel will probably point that out on the down low, particularly towards Aaron, since he seems to be interested, and also that seems like an important detail.
So a Z95, especially here in sort of the like mid outer rim, there's no, it would not be sticking out like a sore thumb.
Got it. Cool. Then I will just do its equivalent of taxiing it to a safe location. You know, I don't want to take too much time to like
look for a safe place. Yeah. No, there's you know, there's berths for smaller craft, such as a snub nose.
I'm willing to bribe somebody too if it means I don't lose my ship. I like my ship.
Yeah, they you know, the dock officer there, a Biff, you know, just kind of like looks at you and says, "Excuse me, sir, you need to pay the docking fee."
And the docking fee would be?
The docking fee is 150 credits.
All right. I pay the man 150 credits.
Thank you.
I pay the man 160 credits.
Tip.
Here's your change, sir.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Gunner is really bad at bribing people. All right, let's put that back in the pocket. What an upstanding young gentleman. Good to see. Good to see they're hiring the straight and narrow people for this.
But after a few hours of unloading cargo, you notice the Captain Gilly kind of sees the gaggle of you all across the spaceport, gives you a 2-fingered salute, climbs back aboard the Hammerhead, and you watch as it lifts off. And flies into the sky and disappears behind the thick pink clouds of Ord Mantell.
Jix, what the hell are you doing here?
I just kind of finished with the shower and saw everyone getting off, and now the ship's gone, so guess I'm following you around.
Great. Mission's off to an excellent start. All right.
We're on a mission? And you didn't even notice I infiltrated the group? Damn.
You know, you represent a grand blind spot in my existence, like a dark black hole sucking in all light and joy. All right, so
I had an ex-wife like that. Yeah.
You know, but I don't think
a singular one, implying the existence of more.
Yes. Hey, only half of them were married out of cons. All right, the rest. Gunner's gonna go to the contact. He's gonna say, "Let's." Unless you guys have any, we lost a lot of stuff in that. Most of my supplies were on the Z95, so I'm pretty all right. But if anyone else needs, if anyone needs to resupply or anything, if you need credits, I can give you some of mine. But not you, Jix. But
that's all right.
But we're gonna need to resupply before this. If we need to resupply before this mission, we can meet up later. If not, I'd like to make for the contact now.
I suppose question to you, Lazy Bones, is would I have been able to keep all of my medical equipment?
Yeah, anything that wasn't like, you know,
on the ship. This is stuff I bought at the beginning of the game.
You said you carried around most of it in a duffel bag. So,
I've got a big bag.
Yeah, I would imagine it's like this is like, all right, this is my bag I take when I go off. And so you lost everything that was in all of your cabinets, but that's just, we abstracted that in terms of just being the med bay. So
sheds a tear for all the lost medical supplies. They're so expensive.
But you have your handy dandy doctor's bag.
I got everything important. Now I kind of like the idea of it being in like an old-timey doctor's bag. That would be so good. Just really big because there's so much stuff.
It's an antique, yeah.
Oh, very good.
All right.
I do sometimes imagine this as just like a Western. Like, and suddenly it's all in like, it's got like the grainy film, it's all in like the brownish black and white, and we're all wearing hats and dusters. It's great. The piano music.
The Star Wars equivalent of the duster is the poncho. Everyone in Star
there.
Wars wears ponchos.
Yeehaw.
It's a statement. Yeehaw. All right.
Voice. Yeehaw.
So to find Uncle Jeg's Fix-It shop, I need a medium streetwise check.
Has
Gee, if
Aaron
there's only
shared the
someone
details?
who had
Yeah.
streetwise ability, yeah.
Gee
It's a
whiz.
shame I make a streetwise check. I wasn't
Go
able
on,
to.
oh fearless leader.
If anyone wants to help, I'm more than happy to have anyone help.
What am I looking for? What's my difficulty?
2 purples.
Assuming Aaron does share the details, that could also help. But I'm, you're probably better at it than I am.
It's yeah, Jix is. Gunner's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
that's
shooting.
what I meant. I meant
Make
Jix.
sure I'm using the right thing. I am.
I
Okay.
hate it when I build a character though that like the fact that he doesn't know how to do any.
Anything other than shoot.
It
You
You
doesn't
haven't,
like.
told,
it
you
doesn't.
haven't told me anything. I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, wash.
It's a wash. You can escalate. So
No, Jix, I'm not looking for your uncle. I'm looking for a guy named Uncle, not Uncle Jix, Uncle Jegs.
Jeg.
Escalate adds what to it? It goes
So-
to
You
red.
upgrade one of the purples to red and one of the
Red.
greens to yellow. So it'd be 2 yellow,
and a
one green,
Yep.
1 purple, 1 red.
All right, here we go. Yes.
Oh.
Nope.
No.
One advantage. Okay. It takes you a little while longer than you'd like to find Uncle Jeg's Fix-It shop. You all saunter out of the spaceport down sort of one of the main streets of Ord Mantell City. This place is rough. The streets are dirty. There are abandoned speeders, burned out hulks of them. You do see the occasional patrol of stormtroopers. You see one of them walk up to a door and pound on it, and it opens up, and a Weequay who is just tatted out, covered in black sun tats, just hands the stormtrooper some credits, and the door closes, and the stormtroopers continue along their patrol. You very much get the sense that this planet is Imperial control in name only, if that makes sense.
Pretty. So it's a pretty classic Outer Rim Republic territory. Excellent.
Yes, precisely. But kind of as you're walking along downtown, you notice that there's a very distinct line where things go from sketchy to really nice, and it's just across a street. And in the really nice part, that's where the Imperial headquarters are. It very clearly says Ord Mantell Imperial headquarters. There's banners flying from it. It's the classic Imperial propaganda move. Look how nice everything is when you submit to Imperial rule. The grass is literally greener over here.
From Weequay blood.
But eventually, after several hours of walking around, you do find a very, very dingy-looking storefront with a burnt-out neon sign and it says, Uncle Jeg's Fix-It shop. And you hear shouting coming from inside. The blinds are drawn over the windows, but the door is unlocked. It has just pull-open doors.
Sounds like your family's in there, Aaron.
I proceed into the building. Slowly. Well, I haven't been questioning. Gunnar has not been questioning his life choices. He knows they were wrong. like, look, I don't know what we're going to expect. I don't know what we're supposed to expect in there, but be respectful. Please don't steal anything. He says to the whole group, and then he's just or fix anything. I know it's a fix-it shop. You know what? You do what you want. You're
Echo's
adorable.
gonna be jonesing in there.
I can't tell you no. I can't look at that face. And Gunner's gonna go inside.
The door.
Ding ding ding.
Can I
Please.
before? Yeah, no, it was While Aaron was giving his debriefing, could Vrel have been trying to listen to any clarity from the shouting to get an idea of what could be going on?
Yeah, you won't even need a perception check for this. It's very, very clear. You hear one voice saying, Jeg, if you do not get us those credits, this shop won't exist anymore. And I know how much you love assisting the community, what you call it, and I would hate for something to happen to this shop. And then you hear a gruff voice respond, if you don't get the hell out of my shop, I'm going to shove my Hydra spanner so far up your pie hole, you're going to seal that nasty little... And then the door opens. And inside you see a very well-dressed looking Faline, flanked by two tough-looking Weequay. And they, like, everyone does the whole thing where they dramatically turn and look. Inside is sort of an office, like, reception area. On one far wall, there is a torn-up leather couch with the stuffing coming out of the tears. There are extremely outdated posters, fading in their frames on the walls. A couple of those weird chairs that every dentist office has. The ones that have like the navy padding and then the black painted frames that all have the paint peeling off of them.
I sure do.
Exactly. And then just a dingy desk with a terminal. And standing behind that desk is a Duros wearing a blue like mechanics jumpsuit with the little patch that has a name. His patch says Jimbo on it, and he's wearing an old oil stained trucker's cap. And he says, now I'm gonna shut you up right now. Hi there, welcome to Uncle Jack's Fix-It Shop. How can I assist you today?
Gunner looks at the. Are they clearly? I mean, Gunner is not necessarily not dumb, but he is not dumb. And he's like, yeah. What kind of repairs does it look like Jix does? Or not Jix, Jigs does.
Jeg. Yes, he looks like he doesn't have a specialty.
Okay.
He's a jack of all trades.
He's like, how are you at fixing starships? I got some nasty damage to my Z95.
Oh hell, I can fix that up in a jiffy.
Cool. I'll tell you. And he starts to kind of go into a little bit of like I'm just here for work. I'm just here because I need work done on my ship, and I'm going to go into technical details.
Yeah, sure.
And these are my heavily armed friends. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
Echo will correct him anytime he makes a mistake.
And it is more of a flyer than a mechanic, so it is frequent.
Make a medium deception check, Aaron.
That's not shooting.
but you can add.
It could lead to it.
You can add 2 boosts.
Yeah, because Echo's whispering in your ear the whole time.
Medium is 2.
2 purples, correct.
Cool.
I do want to say to tone down the suspicious atmosphere at least a little bit. I think, in the very least, Vrel did not enter, but is like still waiting outside, but like at near the door within earshot and able to get in if needed. But like, there's something innately suspicious about like 5 people crowding into a place at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're family. This is our child.
No,
Our
we're not doing that.
Adopted child, Vrel. He's
Oh.
very
We
surly.
got the pouty teenagers outside. He refused to come in, but
I don't want to go into this, souvenir
Uh,
shop, Dad.
don't buy any death sticks.
Yeah. Um,
No, so Gunner's just gonna give that little spiel to kind of like try and seem like he actually belongs here, kind of thing. But it's just a clueless outlander. They clearly don't come from here. They're not imperial or covered in tattoos.
Mhm.
Maybe you guys are covered in tattoos. I don't know. Are they
I am.
tattoos?
There are tattoos. The black markings on Zabrak's are tattoos.
I meant like comparing them tattoos to the tattoos around us. Am I walking around with a gangster?
No.
Okay, just checking.
The Faline just he graciously steps aside.
Thank you.
And then when Aaron is finished with his spiel, he just simply like gives a look at Jeg, and Jeg says, "Now, hold on 1 minute. I need to finish up some business I have." And he turns.
I'm sorry.
And without missing a beat, he says, "If you don't get out of here, I will follow up on that threat. So next time, if you don't leave right now, next time you're kissing that skag wife of yours, you're going to weld her damn mouth shut." And the Faline just huffs and turns around, and the two weak way, like one of them like shoulder bumps Aaron, and they walk out the store and just kind of down the street.
Good heavens.
Oh heavens.
Dear me, is this such a ruffian place we have entered, friends? We're going to well, Jag, seems like you're in a bit of a shit. Sorry, a bit of a drop.
Well, you know how things are around these parts. Law and order only lasts about as far as you can throw a stone.
That's what I hear, and I hear the goal is to make that throw a little shorter. Aaron Gunn.
He narrows
Gunner's pretty good at throwing things.
Russell's.
The innocence.
It kind of narrows his eyes at you. So you're not really here about a Z95. You're here calling it a favor, then.
Well, I mean, I'm not necessarily here calling in a favor. I'm actually here to repay one. But was I given a code word or a phrase or anything, or like to assure that I'm not an Imperial spy kind of thing?
No, but he seems to know. Like he was probably warned, or probably like someone let him know that you were coming.
You could also probably like name drop the guy, the captain guy. What was his name?
I'm hesitant to do that. So I
See,
thought
I
about,
don't know much about it, to be fair.
I'm just kind of hesitant to. I don't like using. Gunner does not like using more names than necessary. If the guy seems like he believes him, then you guys are. Gunner actually think. Mike, does the Z95 need any work that Echo can't do on his own?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. He's like, sorry to disappoint. My ship's in working order, and I got a great mechanic on the team. But yeah, we're here to. But here you're our contact, as it were. And now I'm Southern again as well.
Now look, I made some bad decisions, and this was the way out for them. So I can tell you're not happy to be here. I'm not happy to be here either. So let's just cut the truck and solve both of our problems. Now look, Administrator DeRosa is the only thing that's keeping this planet from going full proton torpedo. And those of our mutual allies would like that to change, as I'm sure you know. Now, if we can get Administrator DeRosa removed, I can promise you that there is no one more qualified than she to run this planet. Because because she's the only one who cares about this gaggle. So, I know what your objective is. You need to take that little device you probably got stashed in one of your many pockets, and you need to get it plugged in to something of hers. There's a...
Jix, do not say anything. I look at Jix. I'm like, do not say anything. We are not doing that plan.
Now, there are a couple ways of doing this. Of course, you could climb up the side of the Imperial Tower downtown, cut a nice little hole in her office window, sneak in, implant the files, get out.
Good. I thought we were. I'm not sure we were talking about killing somebody. I was getting kind of weird.
No. There's no need to kill anyone if we can avoid it. Alternatively, she does like to be seen amongst the people. So there's an opportunity there. You could try to sneak into the building some other way. Let's just say you've got lots of avenues for approach.
Do you have any schematics for the building? Security specs, information, guard rotations, any observations that have been made? Just
I ain't never been inside.
It's there. It exists.
I don't know if you've seen me, but I'm not exactly a human. And they don't exactly like humans going inside of the building.
Very much understand.
So, that presents sort of a problem. But what I can tell you, guards change every 6 hours. There's always 2 sentries out front. Another patrol group of 5 going around the grounds.
How many out front?
2. And they scan every damn package that comes in there.
Is this like a workshop or a storefront?
This is a storefront, and you can see there's a big, like, hand-painted sign that says workshop, kind of over a door.
Do you have a place? Do you have a place for us to hide out for a little while we gather more information? I don't want to put you in more danger than we have. I'm happy to set up in some hotel, but if you have a secure location that you trust, I trust you. So,
well, I suppose you could stay in my workshop. It's not comfy, but I've got some cots.
You do any jobs for the Imperials?
Hell no. You think they trust me?
Fair enough. Just checking.
Hey, come on back.
The gentleman that were hassling you earlier, is that going to be a problem for us?
Well, depends if they make it a problem. I made it pretty clear where I stand. He made it pretty clear where he stands. So, it just depends if he's got a stiffer spine than I do. They're all thugs. You stand up to them once, they'll leave you alone.
He's not gonna like that Hydra spanner up in there.
I know.
Or he might, you know.
Anyway, come on back. I'll get you set up. And
Echo would look at you very confused with saying that.
And he leads everyone back into the workshop area. And again, it's sort of like dingy and run down, but there are several workbenches set up. One has a very, very large like frame for a large blaster rifle, or what will be probably after many more hours of work. Another one kind of sitting in a brace is a cybernetic hand that looks like it has a pistol embedded in it. There's lots of just kind of like tech around. There are bins and bins and bins and bins of spare parts kind of strewn about. There's a pile of several dozen decommissioned droids over in one corner. and he eventually leads you to a small room in the back where he opens it up, and a womp rat kind of like runs out of it and, you know, kind of like hides in a pile of junk somewhere else in the workshop.
Echo is very distracted and is no longer following the party. Just a heads up.
It's a kid in a candy store. I hope he has a good time. It's been a stressful week. Just thank you for hosting us.
Well, part of the contract. And he pulls down.
You have any staff?
Just me and my nephew.
Who's your nephew?
Who's my nephew, or where is he?
I'll settle for both.
Well, he's my nephew. And he's probably off, I don't know, doing some sort of hood rat drug with some of his friends.
Any gang worries from him?
No. Are you kidding me? And he sets up like 5 dusty cots sort of in the back area of this workshop. Refreshers down that way. There's a good noodle place down the street. And he just kind of like, he walks off over to one of the workbenches and like folds down a welding mask and begins working on the cybernetic hand that he has sitting in the brace. Echo, why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth check? Give me a medium stealth check.
Come on, Echo. Whatever you're doing, be good.
Nice. So you spend at what point did you abandon the party? I'm just curious.
Yeah, as everybody started walking through, I'm assuming that they didn't slow up, but like almost immediately just starts veering off.
Pretty much when you said droid, his eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you go to inspect first?
I don't know. It seems like he's sort of developed an attachment for hands, so I'm going to take a look at that cybernetic hand wielding a weapon.
Okay, yeah, it's a work in progress cybernetic. It's not just a hand; it's like a forearm too. But it's got a compartmentalized blaster pistol in it that can like fold out and shoot, as well as it's got an integrated toolkit in it. Yeah, it's of pretty high craftsmanship, but the parts themselves aren't of the highest quality. So it's like, and it gives you the impression that old Uncle Jeg here knows what he's doing, but just doesn't have access to high quality parts. You know, he's like a musician, you know, a professional musician playing on a recorder, or an artist drawing with Crayola.
So, I mean, Echo would actually not be attempting to steal anything. He's just very
Nosy.
Very nosy, and I'm trying to think of the right word. He's judgmental of their quality of work.
Mm-hmm.
And just very detailed inspections of any little thing that's not touched until somebody comes and gets him. He's very tunnel vision. Yeah. And there's probably more than enough to keep him in here until they realize that Echo's missing.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Did D1G come with us?
Yes. If you D1G would follow Echo around.
Turn him into a backpack.
He can fold up and mount on Echo's backpack.
Ooh. I like that idea. We'll just leave him there for now.
Yeah, there's some like molly webbing basically on Echo's backpack that you can hook into. So
Gunner's gonna rest for a sec. It's been a heavy week, so he's just gonna sit on the cot.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any like work in progress or everything is out in the open, Echo would probably try to assist in finishing projects. Given enough time,
Yeah,
just absent-mindedly.
just handing him parts. Anything else anyone wants to do?
Besides whispering Echo's ear that maybe he should dig a companion, I'm gonna find one of the most comfy cots,
Make
take
a
my little jacket underneath it, and start to nod off.
yeah. None of the cots are particularly comfy, but Jix has probably slept in worse places. Jix strikes me as one of those people who can fall asleep anywhere.
Oh yes.
Like in a truck, under fire.
Yep. Part
Gun-
of the reason why he has so many wives across the galactic frontier, it's just I just wasn't paying attention, they said.
Gunner's gonna start. He has his data pad, and he has his data pad. He's very happy. Echo gave it to him. It's a special one, and he's just gonna start. He's tabulating information. He's collecting. He's figuring out objectives of what needs to do. What do we need to do to make this operation happen? He's actually in his history, he was in charge of this, so he's kind of defaulting to that event. I don't mean for him to step on people. I don't mean as a player to tell you guys what to do right now, but Gunner would start trying to tell people what to do. He's not the most democratic of fellows in this situation, but he is basically, if anyone looks over his shoulder, they see written out in very short bullets sort of all the information that he knows, what he wants to know about the place, how he plans to get that information, how people can help, whose skills can go where.
Great. As your datapad connects to the local HoloNet, you do see, there's like a news feed starts scrolling through. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I would connect to the local HoloNet, to be honest. I don't like the idea of my space IP address being on the government sites.
Sure.
I don't want to be tracked. So I'm only using the local notes app right now.
Great.
Space notes.
Space notes, yeah. Spotes.
If you do want, I can check the news on his local.
There's a radio playing, and a special news bulletin comes on. It's saying that Administrator DeRosa will be throwing a parade in 4 days' time to celebrate the stability and prosperity that the Empire has brought to the beleaguered citizens of Ord Mantell. And all local Imperial citizens are encouraged to join.
Encouraged. Heavy quotations.
Look at that. I would like to have a parade about how secure we've made this place, so please don't blow it up. Please, no terrorism. Please.
So judgmental.
So it's kind of up to y'all what you want to do next. There are, lots of avenues for approach here. As an administrator, she would almost always have a secure datapad on her, to run the planet. And she would, there are multiple ways to get into the Imperial Tower in the city center. There's, lots of things that y'all can do. So for right now, we're going to go on a quick break. So we'll be back here in about 10 minutes to finish up episode 9 of Legitimate Enterprises. So grab some blue milk, grab some Nerf jerky, and we'll see you here in just a little bit. Be right back. Alrighty, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 9 of Legitimate Enterprises. So, the party has made contact with their asset here on Ord Mantell. And where we left off, we were just planning the best way to implant the false evidence on Administrator DeRosa's files or, personal network. So, where are we going? What are we doing next?
Couple of questions.
Sure.
All right. He would like to ask Jeg if Jeg knows anyone who would know this better, he would ask that person.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to know: does the administrator live in the place that it's the admin tower that we're talking about potentially scaling?
Mm-hmm.
Does the administrator live in this tower?
Yes.
All right. During these parades, as was mentioned on the radio, the hollow radio, is guard presence usually increased around the admin tower, or is it usually decreased to focus on the parade?
I'm gonna roll for Jake, see if he knows that. Let's see if he knows. Oh, you can escalate. Escalating. Boop. Escalating again.
Let's go again. Escalate again.
God. The danger.
The danger, exactly. Nope. He really doesn't know.
Could the advantage be that he knows someone who does know?
Yeah, he says he might know a guy.
All right.
What's the red funky thing at the bottom there? What's that do to us?
That's a despair. That's a thing that I'm going to be spending later.
Shoot.
Jix, you were right. It's the nephew.
Totally. I tell you. That was off a camera
Kinda-
discussion.
Kind of
5-year-old.
like misinformation or something.
Oh, don't worry.
I only do with you, Mike. I only do.
Sorry.
So scared. I'd like to gather the team together and be like, all right, I've got a certain idea for how to approach this, but I'd like to hear the rest of yours. We all have different experience. My experience isn't so much of planting. I understand why. At least I can hazard a guess at why they don't want us to just remove the good administrator. But I'm open to suggestions. I've got my own plan, but I prefer to keep it open. Jix, what do you think? How would you do this? Let's say, I don't know, you're getting 2 million credits for it.
All right.
All paid afterwards. You've got what you've got. How would you go about doing this?
Hey, Emmy, can you not do
You
that?
realize, Aaron, you haven't told
you.
me yet what the heck we're doing?
I feel that during the explanation of okay, fair enough. We are looking at, okay, hold on. Gunnar would like to go through the entire room and check it for bugs. And then he looks around and then he realizes it's a workshop and he's not going to be able to check this for bugs in any reasonable way. So he pops up his, my comm jammer is that would jam all the comms around us.
Yeah. As you flick it on the radio.
Well, it jammed the
It
DM.
successfully jammed Mike's comms, so I'll
Mike
take that
is
as a
jammed.
yes.
Oh, I just remembered I was muted. Precisely. You flick the comm jammer on, and the radio that's playing in the corner of the room starts playing static.
Got it.
And Jim sits up from his workbench and walks over to it, is mumbling in Duros, just like smacks the side of it, and it continues to play static. And he just turns
Is there
it off.
is there a room that we have here that is easier to check than this? Because even though I know that comm jammers aren't perfect, I'd like to minimize things. Okay.
No, none that you know of.
Sounds good. Keeping it moving. Flip on the comm jammer, and then Gunner's gonna be like, our mission, Jix, is to get whatever's on this data pad uploaded to the personal network of the local administrator, DeRosa. Apparently, it's incriminating. Don't really care what it is, but it's what we've been hired to do.
Well, if it was me, I would try to find out when the next public event or shindig going on that she'd be at.
All right.
Then you let someone attractive, smooth, debonair, kind of like Echo, get in close to her, add a distraction, and then you pop it in to where it needs to be while she's detained with other things.
So, are you going into the personal pad, or are you using her occupied nature to?
You need to go onto her personal network, right?
Yeah, but there's multiple points of access. We could connect it to her computer at work. We could connect it to her personal data pad she keeps on her. Apparently, she keeps one regularly. Or if there's another point of access, I don't know. Echo, are you any good at hacking and tunneling?
If we're trying to set her up for something, then work would probably be the smart choice.
Work might have more bells and whistles that are going to go off if we do something wrong.
That's true too. Are the networks connected?
Yeah. Yes.
You could make me a hard knowledge education check or a hard computers check with a setback to know this.
Confederate.
That'd be me or Gunner.
Anyone can.
Let's give it a shot. Computers.
Yeah. Let's just say that the planet I came from did not have they separated from the Republic, and their school system was not the best. I think you know everything about computers.
He's tapped into the network already. What the heck's he been tinkering with?
I uploaded it an hour ago. Sorry, you were talking too much.
Yeah.
Job's done.
Yeah, their job's done. Excuse me. You would know that they would both access the same network. Okay. The only thing is that with that, this is how I'm spinning that threat, you wouldn't know which is less or more secure. Right. As far as you know, they are both equally difficult to get into.
And with 3 things of threat, it's because Echo's already triggered it. There's a beacon above the building right now.
All right,
airstrike inbound. Yeah.
Well, so as Echo says, if we can access it from any of the terminals, then it doesn't really matter where our point of insertion is.
Just need to recon which is easier to get to.
Well, then I think we need to find out her calendar. Is she going to spend a lot of time at work, or can we hijack her somewhere?
Her place of work is also her place of residence, but in 4 days, according to the radio over there, I imagine I just look to the radio and he's just banging it at this point. Really should tell him about this. I just look at the comm chamber on the ground, and Gunner does not tell him. And he's like, "There's a parade that her administrativeness is throwing in 4 days."
Do we need to do this before the parade?
Potentially.
Might give us a window.
Exactly.
I think the parade's the best opportunity, in my opinion.
Exil, how would you do this?
I would probably figure out which of the two locations is easier to break into. I feel like the home area she has would be, but I have no idea at the moment. And when she's pretty much guaranteed to be out during this parade that she's running, I would sneak in there and upload the files we need to.
We think similar ways. For the, I imagine whatever security is at her home, since she lives at work, really take some time for herself, you know. I imagine the systems are going to be relative. I imagine it's just going to kind of be on the same secure system, but I'm not a tech expert. Vrel, what do you think of our forming plan?
It sounds like it'll work well enough, though I'm not sure where I fit into it.
I think I have an idea. Jix.
Yep.
Unfortunately, though I do enjoy the honeypot plan, Imperial administrators are not known to be the biggest fans of non-humans. I'm not sure your suave and debonair tactics will get you close enough. What you and Vrel are very good at is being very noticeable.
Rel frowns slightly.
And Jix starts to get a little nervous.
I don't want to. I have an idea. For the first day, we spend the time scoping out the local color, the local area. We see what planet are we on, what is it like. Part of the first and into the second day, we take it in shifts to make our best scoping out of the actual tower itself. We want to find out, if we can, where her office is, what kind of internal guard presence it has, and potentially, I'll personally, Jix, this actually might be a great ability for you. Do any of the staff frequent any local bars in the area, or do they have any sort of local contact themselves? Could we get them to just talk about their jobs, talk about how much security presence there is there, how big of a pain that's to deal with, how many different locks do they have to go through to do their daily job? I assume you can get that information out of anybody.
Oh yeah.
At that day 3, I like to have a little bit of buffer time in my plans, but we want to make sure day 3 is all into preparation. I think insertion team would most likely be Exil, myself, and if he's comfortable with it, Echo. Echo, I assume you're the best at us at computers. If I were to rate myself on a computers, I would give myself a 2. It's not a high number.
On what scale?
The binary, man, you're off the charts.
I get that joke.
I understand that reference. He's like somebody of knowledge with machines and computers, and potentially with a tiny little flying droid, might assist us in. Frankly, I'm thinking we're going to have to scale those walls. We're either going to have to go in pretending to we need to do some work there, or we're going to have to scale the walls. I've got a climbing kit in my pack. Very excited to use it. Now, I imagine, I'm not sure how we're going to get her personal data pad off her. Potentially, so that's my plan A. Plan B follows up to the similar point, except instead of inserting, we attempt to kill her. We get her in a situation where we drive her away from the caravan of the parade. Maybe stir up some local gang trouble and bring them in. We come in, we manage to get to her before her stormtroopers can take her away. We get her data pad, and then we leave without the data pad. Honestly, it's a worse plan. But it will not get us inside of an Imperial administration building. We can run away from the outside. I'll be honest. If we get inside that building, something goes too wrong, I'm worried we might not be able to get out of that building.
GM question.
Sure.
With that computer check, or do I need to make another one? Would I know that if we got into either one of her systems, would her personal data pad notify her that somebody else is activating it?
Duo like system, like
Duo. Oh no. Two-factor authentication is the worst. No, it's really good. Everyone should use it.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
definitely.
it's just a pain in the ass. Oh gosh, yeah, that's actually
There is a potential. That makes sense.
Would she be smart enough to use two-factor authentication?
So, see, that's the thing though, is that
Knowing what I roughly know about like how hacking works in this kind of system, that would probably be depending on your check. Wouldn't be necessarily a guarantee.
what do you think?
Precisely.
At least from a player perspective.
Yeah, give me. Oh, geez. Give me a hard knowledge core worlds check. Echo. So 3 purples, and toss a setback onto that. Because this is like some obscure knowledge about Imperial security protocols.
Yeah.
So,
Given my background, can I give him a boost on that by talking about my knowledge of Imperial security protocols, which I would have dealt with, or at least had a friend who dealt with a lot?
I feel like you would have dealt with more like search patterns and patrol patterns and like the actual security of bases, not cyber security.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to disallow that boost.
Here we go.
You're not sure. I'm not going to say either way. But just kind of like a general thing about Star Wars that I think a lot of new or younger Star Wars fans forget is that it's all really analog.
Yeah, it's super retro.
Yeah, exactly. Like your data disk that you have isn't a flash drive. It is like a cassette tape. So
like a floppy disk type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So so two-factor authentication is a thing in like the late aughts, which is not the type of technology that Star Wars uses.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But it's a possibility. You might trigger an alarm.
The thing is, data pads could also be hooked up to systems to monitor them.
Yeah, so
there's potential for that kind of thing. It's just not as advanced as we might think of it.
Exactly. It's definitely a thing that Echo considers. Like that is, with that advantage, you're not like, yup. It's a maybe, but you don't know.
Potentially, third plan of action. Just access the network. If this network can go out, something can go in. We take a purely cyber approach. Maybe we have to get some hardline connection in there. But we just
you
find
definitely would need hardline in the same vein of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a net, which we keep referencing a Star Wars like internet equivalent.
Yeah, holonets are like they're like localized internets.
Yeah. If there's a localized internet that I declined my iPad's connection to.
It's more information than data, I think.
Yeah.
Well, if there's a hole, then stuff can go in and out of it.
Yeah, basically, you'd have to find some kind of hardline connection to whatever is supporting this network. Wire yourself in. You can't connect wirelessly, but wire yourself in, and then you could operate within the network using computers. Yeah.
There is no cloud. There's always a server somewhere. So
yeah.
You just gotta find a way to tap into it directly.
Gunner is talking about
infiltration.
Not necessarily. That like Gunner is talking about like if we instead of spending our time reconning, we spend our time getting the proper computer assets that we need to do this, which might involve some like meeting up with gang people or something. If we get the right computer stuff, we could potentially just do a computer infiltration. Because if her computer connects out of the LAN network, I'm just gonna start using real computer science. into the net, which I was able to connect with my data pad, and I said no. If at any point someone in that network connects to this network, we can get through that hole and get to her computer. It's not as fun, but it doesn't involve us getting shot at as much. Potentially. We might be really bad with computers.
Flashback to the despair.
You know what? Maybe Plan 3's bad.
That is certainly a possibility. I would say, Echo, you could go ahead and give me another check of the same kind.
And I have a GM question headed your direction on Discord.
Oh,
for
excellent.
Mysterious backstory.
Mysterious backstory purposes.
My turn.
Yes.
Let's see. 4, 3, 1. Yeah. All right.
Okay. So, basically, Echo, you would know that, this isn't specific to Imperials, but typically how you would do something like this is you would use a Star Wars VPN, which is actually, pretty old technology. So, like, you connect to a server, and then that server connects to the computer within the net. So, that's which kind of throws a wrench in the whole plan of just a pure outside hacking attack, which is still possible, but it's very difficult. But the way that her datapad gets to her net that's in the tower and like the infrastructure in there is through a VPN tunnel. So
but between all of us, I think we've got a pretty good idea. What do you all want to do?
I like the infiltration, like physical infiltration idea best. I do not like the idea of climbing up the side of a building, personally.
I don't either.
A little bit brightly colored to do that.
I'm still
also,
not entirely sure where Vril was directed to fit in with this.
Yeah,
I'm not
something
good at
about being
infiltration
alien.
I'm not good at infiltration or being charismatic.
It's your exact non-charisma that we're talking about. If something goes wrong at the parade,
Yes,
it's going to put attention on the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
you're a distraction.
I have a feeling we're the distraction, Vril.
Yes, Echo.
So wait, okay. So the idea is more that you want us to cause trouble at the parade specifically.
Yeah, nothing major, nothing enough to get yourselves, to get some carbon scoring on you, but enough to make it so that, maybe the locals are a little bit riled up. Maybe it's just enough that if you present people with one problem, they won't think as hard about the other problem. Not enough to cause a full lockdown, just enough that attention and the worry, because there's always worry. We want to make the worry over here while we're over here.
Vril frowns softly at that notion. I might remind you that I'm not exactly in the business of drawing attention to myself when I can help it. But you did mention lots of local gangs, as I saw. If you're not above that, we could see if we could get some of them involved.
We'd have to keep it pretty locked tight, but I don't want them knowing about the plan. I don't want them knowing why we're doing this, so we'll have to have the plan we tell them, not the plan we're doing.
In my experience, money is much more valuable to them than explanations.
I will defer to you.
Also potentially spite, because isn't this parade supposed to be for how safe this planet has been made by our dear Imperial friends?
That is a good point.
Spite is a powerful motivator.
All right, so right now If we don't like scaling the side of the building, which I agree, scaling the side of the building in broad daylight is a great way to get yourself shot from afar. So we're gonna have to go through the building. It means we're gonna have to get in the building.
Gonna have to bluff your way in. Oh yeah.
Also, vents exist. And I feel like there's always vents. You know, have you ever been to a place there's like always a trash chute or a vent? Imperials really like their like dungeon puzzle-esque designs.
It gives good airflow. It's
Oh
important.
yeah, oh totally.
Yeah.
And it keeps the trash monsters alive.
Yeah, exactly.
They matter.
Well, they eat the trash. See, the Empire is pro-environment.
Except when there's no more environment, but that hasn't happened yet. So we've each got angles of attack here. We need to find out some things if we're going to infiltrate that building. We need to find out the level of internal security. We need to find out each tier of security to get to her office. We need to find out who has access to her office. I'm not opposed to just blasting our way all the way through it, but we need a hell of a good escape plan. Jix, I hear you're a good pilot.
I'm okay.
We need an escape plan, and if she has a window, potentially you could just fly by. Though I don't know. Do I need to check out what the local like anti-air capabilities are, because I like my ship and I don't want Jix to die.
Or since you've given this day of, buffer, why don't I go to the local bars, play some cards, buy some drinks, and just see who's got a loose tongue and doesn't like working with their boss right now.
Before we settle to blasting, I think information is a good idea.
That's what the first 2 days of planning, as were explained, are.
Yeah,
first
yeah,
3
yeah.
days of planning were all.
Well, that's the thing is like that was Rel's agreeing with Jix of, let's not settle on a plan of blasting. Maybe there's a way we can get that security clearance information that you said we need. That was an agreement.
And what's our backup plan? We're not all going to fit in that busted C95.
Oh no! I was gonna dangle cables out the back of it, and we were gonna hold on.
I don't like that plan.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but between getting thrown around a little bit, connected to a wire, and getting shot by a dozen stormtroopers, I'll take the nausea.
I think finding a better escape plan should also be a thing that we consider.
We do need an egress, and there's three of us.
I had one recent episode of dangling on a cable from a spaceship, and I would like to not repeat it if at all possible.
I can almost see the lip curling when she says that. Yeah, that just the extra fangs showing.
Yep.
Brel not happy. No.
Well, Varel, if you want to take point on finding us some gang contacts for stirring up some trouble, you seem to know a lot about it. Not going to ask, but I'll defer to you. Echo, you want to go with me to scope out the building? Echo, what do your Charger fan eyes see?
Fucking Lion King him up so
Classic.
that he can see over.
Exil, what do you want to do? Where do you fit? I don't know your guys' like skills. Gunner only knows you as people who jumped on the guns sometimes and are good at shooting, and he's like, I like that. He takes being good at shooting to be a valuable skill, and really the only skill someone needs. But Gunner does not know what assets his team has. So
This is what we're learning.
I don't want to assume that Vrel's on my team. I'm not trying to be pushy, Vrel. Okay.
I think it's established that we're on the same team here.
I don't want to assume, okay? I've been
Maybe
burned
you
before.
spent a little more time with us. Don't always yell at me, man.
I mean, to be fair, most
right.
of my skills are also in shooting.
Sweet. We're
Just
gonna
got
get
two
a lot.
good shooty boys.
Out of character, I have okay perception, okay skullduggery. I have knowledge warfare.
I just want a Charlie's Angel poster, except it's Aaron, Exil, and like who's the next best at shooting? Maybe Jix.
Yeah,
Jix is
maybe
not bad at
Jix.
shooting. Yeah.
Just as
Yeah,
well.
Actually, might be.
Also, Jix. Jix is also one of the only other people I could see potentially dressed up like a Charlie's Angel. He'd be the only one enjoying it.
Yeah,
I want it
they-
to be. I want it to be Jix's Angels though, so I don't think he can be on the poster because I want him to be Charlie.
Oh, fair. Okay, we'll just dress up Echo then.
There we go.
It can't be Vrel because Vrel doesn't shoot anyone. I can't hold the gun pose.
I didn't know
That
they made
face
a
right
29
there in a Charlie's Angel outfit. Just hooyah.
They made another
pleather
reboot of
thing.
that movie.
Hmm.
God.
I guess if we're all splitting off into pairs and Jix, right? Yeah, it's not pairs. Gunner's bad at counting.
Yeah. No, Exil can if Exil needs a role in this, Vrel could probably use backup if he's gonna be talking to gangs
I
in
do
case some
have
violence breaks out.
I do have an automatic advantage on coercion checks too, so
Yeah, if things get threatening, I think you and I make a pretty good threatening pair.
It's true.
I'm
And we-
spiky. It's
And
spooky.
it is useful
You're
that we
spiky, I'm spiky.
Gunner, are you just pairing people up based on what they look like? No. I just thought you would be friends because, you know.
Spiky.
Wait
To
a
be
minute.
fair, they have actually gotten along. We're bonding over being spiky.
You're sending me to the bar by myself.
No,
Okay.
Jix.
You're more than happy to go off in the bar by yourself. Let's
I-
be real.
Yes.
All the
will-
trouble you can get into without any
Uh-huh.
repercussion from this.
Jix, I will be going with you.
Oh.
Because we got
Ow,
three.
wet blanket on that night right there.
Gunner's a fun guy, and I know having to say that makes him sound like not a fun guy, but
When he
Gunner's
lets
like,
loose.
an
Maybe.
important thing to note, you know, we're all gonna have to do some recon on the main building because having just Echo and I tourisming around there for like 3 days is gonna seem conspicuous as heck. So we need to do like subtle shifts, movements. We need to pretend like we're on the way to get things and just happen by it. I don't know if any of you have sneaky cameras, but any way that we could get pictures of the place, whether it be from Imperial news broadcasts, any old records that we have there, any way we can get a good visualization of this building and be able to have a memorized good visualization of the building is super important.
Why not see if the Fixit has a camera and attach it to your little droid friend?
That's a great idea, if you're okay with that. And one other idea, and this is something only Gunner's probably going to be able to do because I think he's the only one actually allowed in the building. Y'all make fun of me for picking a galactic standard boy now, huh?
No.
I'm talking about
Approved.
general RPG cultures hating that I'm always the guy who picks the human.
Look, no. You always need to have the human guy because it makes without the human guy, no one else feels exciting or weird.
Okay,
Like,
dude,
you're
you're saying the
big
exact thing that I feel. I love it.
No, I love having the human guy. Like in any of my tabletop games, it's like, yeah, I got the, you're the standard, you're the classic.
Human
Everyone
fighter.
is
Cannon
super.
fodder.
If everyone is super, no one is, which is why enough of the party needs to seem normal-ish.
And also, like having the plane guy also then do some really crazy cool shit in the end is like, it's great, it's exciting, it's like it's the whole humans in space sort of concept in general. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on about this. We're playing Star Wars. We can talk about this another
Sorry.
time.
Stirwers.
The last thing the gunner would like to know is, can I get a tour of the building? Like, as a Imperial citizen and thankful for what they do they give out like regular like base level like, look at how good we're making your places. Look at all of our
That-
shiny floors.
That is an excellent question. And yes, 100%. That would be like, all you have to do is go up and ask to be like, I
I've
would
always
love
loved-
it. Yeah, I know.
I've always loved you, dirty goddamn Imperial. I mean, I've always had a good admiration for you, best. I mean, hi.
Yeah, I mean, it would take like, I don't know. You would probably just have to sign up for it online somewhere on the net somewhere. And you just do it. So, a 25 credit registration fee for a tour of the Imperial Center here on Ord Mantell.
And I assume it is confined to me. Is this going to have to be a gunner solo mission, or can someone come along?
Take your small child.
Depends
A
if they
baggy
let.
coat and a
Yeah.
baseball cap on Echo, and
This is my child. He's horribly deformed. Do not make fun of him. I feel like it could be a gunner solo mission. I'm still interested in hearing that.
I assume that if the Duros wasn't allowed there, then no one else is going to be allowed there, which is a big problem with this mission. Is that we have to get you guys in there. We have to get Exil and Echo if we choose to do the team out like that. If we choose to do them, we're gonna have to find a way to get them in there.
Yeah,
I mean, you could probably come up with some kind of like
tarp,
fucking racist excuse of, oh, they're my servants or some bullshit.
I mean, there's also the fact that Jeg strikes all of you as pretty like anti-imperial, so it might just be his attitude that keeps him from getting in there.
Who knows?
So he's got a bad tude, man. He's got a tude.
He's certainly got a tude.
Yeah.
All imperial establishments do have no bad tudes allowed.
Yeah, precisely.
In multiple languages on the front.
No bad dudes, no bad tudes.
This is a big sign that says no bad vibes here.
Yeah.
Only good vibes.
It's mandatory vibe checks at the entrance.
I'd vibe check an Imperial.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay, cool. That might make it.
So, so everything that y'all have been outlining for the past like 45 minutes is 100%. This is literally heist movie montage.
I love it.
This is one big skill challenge that we all get to do. So, who wants to? Everyone, just roll initiative for me here. Roll a cool initiative, and we'll see how we all go.
He's giving us the cinematic cutscenes here.
Precisely.
Oh, yeah.
This is the prep montage for a heist movie.
Can we roll cool?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was.
Good. Yeah, it makes sense. It's a cool montage, so we gotta be cool.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck. Sorry, cool as Krong. Excuse me. Man.
Jeez. Good
Rough.
lord, Jax.
Rough.
I fail with
A lot of
style,
advantage, though.
I'm
Also-
totally palming cards, but I'm not doing the right
Useless.
game.
For our watchers and listeners, I would suggest listening to the Ocean's 13 soundtrack on loop for the rest of this episode.
We would play it, but we'll get shut down.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that means up first is Echo. Echo, what are you doing?
Being cute.
Yeah, Echo is definitely on a bit of recon, and in particular looking for network accesses.
Network.
Do you do the camera thing with Digger? So that would be cute.
Oh,
Dig.
yeah. See if I can try to pull something together for recon with.
Yeah, make me first off.
It is a good idea.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. Make a medium mechanics check. 2 purples for you, Echo.
Trying to remember. I think I get something. Yes.
What?
Excuse me, sorry. That came out of nowhere. I didn't have time to mute.
Okay. You ask Uncle Jeg, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I've got tons of like photoreceptors over there. Knock yourself out." And you find a camera that you could mount on. Dig, and then follow that up with a hard computers check. See what we get. Yeah, you mount it up and you rig it to send pictures to your data pad and video in high def for your triumph.
Very nice.
There you go.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna basically sit down with Dig and explain what I need him to take photos of.
Okay.
So-
and then
Long
last,
conversation.
Yeah.
last, I will need an easy leadership check, and you get a boost from Speaks Binary.
Sweet.
I can just see like in the cutscene, like there's 4 or 5 photos that are not what he's looking for, and
Hmm.
oh no!
Yep. All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah.
It's only pictures of rocks.
Yeah. Dig is.
Oh, Dig, we love you.
He gets distracted. Exactly.
Some sexy ore over there.
There's a very, very beautiful rock garden in like the Imperial
Oh,
Center's
no.
grounds. So
Yes.
Oh, that is not fair going for his weakness,
it
Mike.
takes
That's awful.
takes a lot of pictures of that.
A boy
Ah.
G1G deserves better, man.
But you do get lots of good pictures of just general the exterior of the building. So there's like a whole kind of district around the admin tower, where there's a base, like a small military base there, where there's several barracks buildings for the stormtroopers. There's a motor depot there. And then, in addition to the actual compound of the Imperial Center itself, so there's a small wall that goes around it, with like a park inside of it basically, and a checkpoint to get into the interior of the compound, then another checkpoint to get into the building itself.
I imagine Echo is just like Cloud9 getting these pictures into the perimeter, and then you just see his mood go down as it's just more and more rock pictures.
Yeah, precisely. There's like 14 good ones of the exterior of the building. So from what you can glean from these, there is approximately a platoon of stormtroopers, so about 40, stationed in the small military camp base compound within the Imperial Center, along with a speeder tank of some kind is also there. A very low profile, boxy looking tank is parked under a tarp of some kind. And then, so there's like 14 pictures of the exterior, nothing that would point to an access point. And then once you get past those like 14 pictures, there's like 300 of rocks and the rock garden. It's very tasteful. But
Yeah. Echo will probably save 2 or 3 of them for backgrounds.
Yeah. There's like a nice little stream running over some rocks. It's nice. It's very peaceful. Let's see. All right, who is up next? That would be Vrel. Let's see. So Vrel, you and Exil, we're gonna go try to recruit some gang members to cause a ruckus during the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yep.
First off, give me a medium streetwise with a setback. As you two are combing around the streets, there's lots of just street toughs about, but they all kind of like front or just kind of walk away when you try to approach them. So this is to find a group of willing miscreants.
This is average?
Average, yep. 2 purples and a setback.
What's your ranks in streetwise, my dear friend?
Streetwise, I don't have any ranks.
All right, I've got a rank. Do you have? What's your cunning? Because can we do this as a combined check?
Yes.
I have 2 cunning.
Okay, so it's gonna be this. It's gonna be the same as whatever. Can I get a boost then?
Yes.
Nice. So a setback and a boost. Cool. Curses.
Curse.
What is this?
So
No success. disadvantage.
I know. Picking through the mean streets of Ordmantel City, no one really gives you the time of day until when you guys are just about to leave sort of the neighborhood you were prowling around in. You come across a group who are very confrontational with all of you. It's a group of several humans and several non-humans, a Twi'lek, an Aqualish, and a Changrian. Or Chagrian, excuse me. There's no N in there. And the Chagrian steps forward and says, "We've seen you snooping around. This is our neighborhood. What do you want?"
We're not looking for trouble. We have work for you.
"Do you have work for us?" And of course, the gang behind them all starts laughing.
Vrel keeps his face straight.
"And what work could you possibly have for us?
Call me wrong if you will, but you don't seem to be fans of the Imperials.
We are not fans of the Imperials. They come in here, they take our things, they take our people, they take our credits in the names of stability."
Well,
Why?
we're looking to topple a bit of that stability, and we could use an extra hand. I can't give you any details beyond that, but there would be credits alongside the reward of less Imperial presence if we succeed.
Make a... Real quick, he says, "And how many credits are we talking about?
What would be a good reward for this kind of thing?" And I'm opening this up to anyone's suggestions. Assuming that Vril isn't going to have to single-handedly front this.
I am very bad at judging what is a good amount of credits.
Oh god, vibrations.
Oh, no.
Is there a knowledge streetwise check? Somebody maybe.
A knowledge underworld, perhaps.
I'll try just to see what I think would be a tempting rate.
Yeah.
Mike, what's the credit? What's the general credit inflation level of this sector of the galaxy?
God, no, I don't.
How's the space
Stop.
now right now?
Stop! I can't handle this kind of math. It's 10:27 p.m. where I am.
The space Nasdaq. Yeah.
Would this be an average check?
This would be a knowledge underworld easy with a setback.
Okay, cool. Actually, I was gonna say, well, I succeeded anyway, but I was gonna say, could I get a boost for my background? But either way, success is a success.
Yeah. You would know, especially looking at these guys, they look lean and scrappy and hungry. Young, scrappy, and hungry, if you will. But they, you could probably, in terms of just like causing a ruckus, it's certainly like a couple hundred credits will get you like 6 guys to start yelling and throwing bottles and bricks and stuff.
Yeah,
if that's what
I could go for. Yeah, I could go for that. Also, do we have any inkling as to where those medical supplies that we were delivered actually ended up?
No.
And do these guys? Okay, we don't. There's no chance we could have. Because I like the idea of I could partly like if these guys look like they'd be in need of that kind of thing, like because I imagine they're the sorts who are, there's lots of gang fighting and all sorts of stuff, so having things to patch up obviously would help. So if I could tip them off as to where they could get their hands on that kind of thing.
Ooh, okay.
In an illicit or licit or illicit ways. I'm going to pretend that licit makes sense.
Well, if there's unscathed, then there's scathed. So
Licit is actually a word.
Oh, interesting. There we go. Flip a destiny token, and I'll let you make like a super like a flashback retroactive
sure.
check
yeah.
to see if you manage to find anything.
Let's get some
yeah.
or some light side stuff in play.
Exactly. So
Maybe Vrel, because also Vrel obviously would have probably had some interest in, you know, oh, what kind of materials are these? What is this for?
exactly.
So maybe he asked some questions.
Yeah, make you could either make a medium perception check to see if you like saw some shipping label to see where they were going, or you could make a medium charm with a setback to see if you ask some questions.
Perception, I'm technically better. Are these both with a setback, or just
No,
charm with a setback?
Just the charm with a setback.
All right. In that case, I will do the perception, and it was average. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, success.
Okay. Yeah, you saw they were headed to a clinic somewhere in a different part of the main city here on Ord Mantell.
Right.
So it's like a relief sort of community clinic. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay, so let's say we put forward 300 credits, split it 150, you and me, Exil.
Yep.
And then Vrel will also throw in a tip about where they might be able to get their hands on extra medical supplies.
Great. Make me an easy negotiation check with 3 boosts then.
Hell yeah.
So you can't seal that deal.
Alright, negotiation. I have 2 greens in. Easy and boost, boost, boost. We like that. Oh, come on!
Oh no.
Oh, maybe they want a little more money.
Yeah, I think that's what they look at the 300 and the chain green goes 500.
400.
And to that he responds 450 or we do not have a deal.
Acceptable.
All right. So mark off 450 credits, and now you've got some people to cause a ruckus at the parade.
All right. So that'd be 225 each.
Okay. Who is next? I believe it is Aaron. Mr. Gunner is up next for what were you trying to do again, Aaron? What was your leg in all this? Were you and Jix going astroturfing at the local cantinas, or?
Gunner had a bit of a multifaceted role because I was gonna accompany Echo around for the surveillance. If he's a smaller impact on his own, we would have let him go on his own, obviously, which he did because that's what happened. But I could have been kind of there just for security, just kind of like hanging out in the near area, smoking a Corellian space cigarette, and which oddly enough do not cause me any respiratory issues, which is why Gunner can run so much and yet still swims. Space. And he's gonna and so he would just kind of hold on, sorry. He just kind of be there, you know, hanging out, looking inconspicuous but badass.
Yeah, make a
inconspicuity.
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check with a boost. Medium perception with a boost.
See, just double check in case I ever once made the stupid mistake of spending money on anything except for shooting people. By money, I mean
experience.
It's all green, baby. It's even a career skill. I should upgrade that.
All right. Very nice. Success with an advantage. So, you accompanying Echo while he pilots D1 around like a RC plane a little bit. You know, like Dig goes out, takes some pictures, and then comes back, and then goes out and takes some pictures, and come back and goes out. You know, and you just kind of spend some time looking around, and you notice that the that the stormtrooper patrol that goes very specifically around the interior grounds of inside the wall where the nice like rock garden is, they spend about 35 minutes patrolling the entire exterior before they get back to the front. And that's in addition to the 2 sentries outside.
I had to be on patrol for 6 hours. I'd take my time too.
Yep, and 6-hour guard rotations.
Got it. Minutes patrols with that. After they pass around that corner, we've got roughly about 30 minutes. Or let's see, 35. Is it a 4-sided? What's this? How many sides are we talking about for the walls here?
It's a square. So
Cool. I made a little drawing on my Google Drawings here. I just want to make sure it's. Is the tower centrally located? Is it a tower or is it like a courtroom, like room size?
I say tower. It's just a tall building.
Okay, I always imagine like Imperial monolith.
Yeah, I mean it is monolithic, but there's floors to it and windows and stuff. So
how many stories does it look like it is?
With your perception check, I'll just let it ride. Still, it looks like it's about 9 stories tall. It's a pretty tall building.
Got it. Yeah, I'm more of looking for mostly half for Duncan's like being able to visualize this.
Of course.
How high are the wall? Do the walls look like they're scalable? Just in case.
Yeah, they're not like they're more decorative. So it's like a 7-foot tall wrought iron fence. With like spikes on top of it. So
can you see through it?
Yes, you can see through it.
That is okay. That is okay. That is worse, but that is okay.
Yeah, it's like halfway of like stone, and then the other half of like wrought iron bars. So if you could get up to it, you could theoretically still hide behind it. You just have to be prone.
Got it. All right. While I'm here, and I know this will probably do another perception check, which I'm not good at, but just looking at general for points of I think I'm using the word egress properly. How are we gonna get the heck out of here, especially if everything goes to crap? But just in general, what am I seeing? What like between?
Yeah, make a. Make another medium perception check. Also with a boost.
Okay. Can I spend the advantage on anything or pass it on to somebody else or something, I guess? I don't know.
I would say I spent your advantage narratively with some more details.
Got it.
Yeah. What you do know is that there is the front access road, so like cars can come up and pull in front of the tower, ground cars, speeders, whatever, can come up and like park in front of the building and unload and then go off somewhere and go park somewhere else.
Got it.
There's also a rear access sort of freight area.
Got it.
In the building as well. So
we don't have a truck anymore.
There's lots of trucks on the planet.
There is. This is the planet of trucks, they call it.
Ord Mantell, the planet of trucks.
Weird. They were here before.
They need to work on their tourism.
We need to hire a contortionist.
Okay. And then, last but not least,
if you had, do we want to do the tour now? Just saying, it would be like the next day. Like, I assume this isn't really chronologically like ordered and stuff, in how we're doing the heist movie montage. I'm also, I'm happy to wait. I'm happy if we've got like judging by time. I'm happy to just kick that to next time.
Yeah, I think we'll probably. I want to resolve Jix kind of, fishing for some information before we get to the tour. So Jix.
Yes, sir.
You're looking for some
Looking for some disgruntled workers playing some Sobek, wanting to sit there and, just have a few drinks and vent about everything.
Exactly. So go ahead and give me. First off, you're going to have to find some people who work in the compound. So give me, to start off with, give me a medium skullduggery. That's the word I want. Yeah, give me a medium skullduggery. Yes,
Okay.
Aaron.
If I'm there all day, could I help him by just following some people
Yeah,
stealthily?
yeah, give a boost. So make a medium skullduggery with a boost there, Jix.
I got a good feeling for this. I got a good feeling.
All right.
I barely have a good feeling. Got the dice.
Yeah, so you and Aaron post up at a calf shop, Dunkin' Doodin, across the street. Like it's on the corner, and you just kind of watch for like several hours. You have a bunch of coffee, you pee a lot, but you notice that some like a sanitation service, janitorial staff go into the front of the building, are in there for several hours, and then come out, and you notice that one of them is walking, they're wearing like overalls, but one of them is walking with someone in not in an imperial jumpsuit, but in a like nice clothes that someone would wear as like an office worker.
Okay.
And you notice that two of them, a person in the nice clothes, a human woman with dark red hair that's kind of in a severe bun on the back of her head, is walking with a younger human man with like a full beard. And you see them, they walk in, they walk out, and they head into a nearby cantina.
Perfect. We'll nudge Aaron and go, let's go find out what they know.
Good to me. Was everyone who went in and out of the building as we just hung out in this coffee shop human for everyone, for what we could see?
Yes, for the most part, everyone going in and out was either a stormtrooper or a human, and typically stormtroopers are human. So,
I have another idea, and I got it from a movie we once watched.
What movie?
It's called A New Hope. Can't see inside a helmet. All right. I'm just kind of following.
Work for Rel and me.
Well, no, it would all.
I am definitely too short to be a stormtrooper.
That would be great. I would love to see a character art of those two in trooper outfits.
Isn't he a little bit affirmative action? It's a new imperial policy coming down. Look, I don't tell them how to do their job. All right. But it's forming. It's storming, norming, forming. It's got potential of at least one or two of us can arrest someone. But I'll definitely follow you. Like, yeah, let's get to it.
So the cantina in question is called the Cathhound Kennel. And as you walk in, it's nice, well appointed, with like it's got the stylings of like a ye olde type tavern. But you notice that as you walk in, the two people that you watched leave the administrative tower are sitting in a booth nearby, just having a drink and talking very animatedly about something.
Let's try to eavesdrop before we wander over there and what they're animated about.
Okay.
From a mechanical purpose, Jix, I'm super stealthy. If that helps.
This,
okay, go.
It can give me a combined check because that's how this game works.
Yes, this will be a skullduggery check.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
Hard with a boost.
Skullduggery.
The crime check.
Crime crimes, Mike. You didn't
Crime?
you didn't say we'd be. I thought we were here to solve crimes. Become what I hate.
I can tell you these enterprises are quite legitimate. Roll credits. Sorry. Yes.
Soon.
So as Jix closes in, he hears the woman speaking. She says, oh, I swear to God, Nyx, some of the things that she does. How many non-fat mochas can one person consume in a day? I'm telling you, if she has... Look, today she had 7 of them. 7. Do you have any idea what the state of her kidneys must be in? And Nyx, the man wearing the janitorial uniform, says, look, you're not the one who has to clean the bathroom in her apartment.
Oh.
I know what they do to her.
Oh.
And they just kind of they both like chuckle and say, the redhead woman says, man, I'll drink to that. And they, each have
When
a
she
drink.
says we'll drink to that, I'm gonna motion that the waitress bartender come refill their drinks and go, I'm sorry, I just overheard that. And I used to be in janitorial work, and 7 mochas? Are you serious?
They both kind of give you a look. Yeah, because you just kind of barged in on their conversation. Make a deception check, Jix. Make a medium deception check with a setback, but also with a boost because he just bought them more drinks.
What can he
Medium
have a
deception.
boost because he's handsome? He's very handsome. I don't know if you've seen him. I've seen him. He's so handsome. I didn't know how handsome he was. He's very handsome.
He looks a lot better than I do. No, we got this.
Oh, buddy.
Oh yeah, easy. And she says, the woman says, yeah, well, talk to Nyx here. I'm sure he can tell you also. I'm sure you two can swap horror stories for years. And the man offers up a hand towards you, Jix, and says, name's Nyx. Nice to meet you. This is Yona.
I'm also laughing about Nyx and Jix.
Yeah, exactly. Nyx and Jix. Yeah.
What was the
Ship
woman's
it
name?
already.
Yona. Y-O-N-A.
Yona.
Oh yeah, yo.
Yona.
So this is you got Yona and
It's
Aaron.
that time already.
Yes. So we're gonna introduce Aaron and go. Yeah, we just came to town. Kind of heard that there's gonna be a parade and everything going, and doesn't sound like you guys are getting the good end of the stick on this event.
Came to town. Are you from one of the colonies then?
I'll turn right to Aaron.
Yeah, that's not that's not conspicuous. I don't know. Is that technically? I was like, yeah, we've been traveling around. We've been traveling around for a while, but we just flew in with one. We just came in on one of those medical shipments. Figured it seems like you need help here, so we thought we'd come around and see how good of Imperial citizens we could be.
Well, if you want to be a good Imperial citizen, keep DeRosa from drinking 7 mochas in a day. That woman is so high-strung. I don't know. Anything more and she might snap. But
Now, is it pressure she's bringing on herself or pressure she's getting from the outside? And wave over 4 more drinks.
Make a charm check. And Jix, again, this is I'm gonna say hard with a boost, and I'm gonna flip a token, so upgrade one of those purples to a red.
Hard with the boost?
Mm-hmm. But so 1 red, 2 purples, and you get a boost, and this is charm.
You're making me pull out my big guns on you.
All right. She shakes her head. She goes, look, as much of a pain as she is to work for, she does care about this planet. Oh, it pains her to see all these gangs trying to run everything or steal everything that isn't nailed down. It's a shame, really, but She's the only person that really cares about this place. Anyone else the Imperials would send would just start shooting people in the street.
And that's not her way.
No, of course not. I mean, look, I've heard things, alright? I know how tough lockdown can get and the iron-fistedness of some people. But she really does care, and not just about humans. She cares about everyone.
That's nice to hear, because I gotta tell you, just being blue some places gets me shot at just for walking in.
Yes. Yes. Well, I can't say that I know, but
Well, if she's willing to do all this, what can we do to help her?
well, she is throwing a parade. I'm sure it would mean a lot to have some cheering Imperial citizens in such a bleak time as this.
Is there anywhere that would be best for her to have the cheering Imperial citizens be? You know, if anyone's watching how her reaction is from the city?
Is this Yona that's responding?
Yeah, this is Yona. That's
Got
speaking.
it. Got it.
Yeah. And Nyx is kind of checked out of the conversation because he's like, dude, I just cleaned the toilets.
Yeah.
What's we're gonna keeping drinks coming to Nyx?
Yeah, exactly. He's very happy to be neck deep in ale. So she continues to explain, like, well, she's gonna. Yona outlines like the entire parade route. At this point, she's had a couple apple-teenies, so her tongue is pretty loose, and she outlines basically like the entire parade route. And she says it will end. Well, you see, the whole thing, it ends in a meet and greet and sorts, and I'm sure it would go a long way to take her stress off her shoulders if someone like you were to come up to her and tell her how much of a difference that she's made, even if, you know, it might not necessarily be true for you.
Hey, every little bit helps. I will be glad to be at the meet and greet. How exactly do we get into that?
Oh, well, here. And she, like, takes a napkin and writes down her name. Iona Mostros is her name. And she hands it to you and says, if anyone gives you a hard time, just say my name and they'll come get me and I'll let you in. I'll be there.
Perfect.
Are you like sort of like more than a coffee girl? Are you then?
Well, I'm her aide, and that usually entails getting coffee because she likes to do everything herself. But I do occasionally help out with things.
Help out or actually run the place, it sounds like.
Well, she would be dead if it weren't for me, so she tells me that daily. Although I feel like with the amount of caffeine she ingests, I think I might be contributing to that anyway.
And for some reason, I have a picture of Aaron having a bunch of napkins in front of him as she's been detailing.
Oh,
the route.
I wanted to make that joke because he's just like data padding the whole time. He's like, he's very studious. He's got to study for his exams tomorrow. I would kind of as the conversation continues to wind. Gunner's gonna kind of I don't know how to signal this to Jix. We want to find out. No, we want to find out about their security, and so we want to find out like how hard is it for Nyx to do his job.
Okay, yeah, we'll find out how hard for Nyx to do his job, but then how much pushback am I going to get being blue-skinned walking into this place? With the gangs and all that causing problems.
Make me. That would be a hard charm check. That would be another hard charm, and I'd say with 2 setbacks, because that's some pretty technical.
Could I distract one of them a little bit by trying to get them in a different conversation? Like, just kind of a side bit, ask them about their job continually, like while he's asking a more forward, like kind of directed question, maybe to the more drunk seeming one.
Well, it's. I'm gonna have to start laying it on thick. I'm gonna have to start touching, Yona's hand and looking at her and really intently. Yeah, kind of, yeah, kind of like I see the guys try with my teenage daughters when I laugh at it. Yeah, putzes. God, don't have daughters. Don't have daughters. Okay, so I've got hard, charm, 2 setbacks.
Hard charm with 2 setbacks. So
Okay,
here we go.
this one scares me.
Ooh.
Oh.
All right. Excellent roll.
Too close.
Yep.
Gunner just goes, sorry, I can see the weave of fate. That was terrible.
This is why it pays to upgrade your character. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking with Iona, she's like, oh man, security at the meet and greet. Oh, don't get me started on it. She's worried about the gang. She's worried that someone might try something there. So she pulled some strings with an old friend of hers and in the core. So there's going to be a whole, I don't know what the word is, platoon, brigade. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of security at the meet and greet, but I heard that the commandant was complaining that there wouldn't be enough men left at the tower. Please, no one's going to try to break into the tower. All that's in there are just a bunch of old file cabinets.
Yeah, no one would go for that. It's just,
Nobody would break into file cabinets.
No.
Nothing.
They have no purpose at all. None.
Yeah, I know, right? Paper? Who still uses paper? We have data
Exactly.
pads.
I don't even know what it is.
I mean, at most you're going to see what maybe people are paid. Yeah. Right in the ribs.
Yeah. So, I mean, Gunner's just kind of sitting back, like being the second casual conversation partner. This is Jix's show here. I'm not. Gunner's not so good at talking to people. Yeah, and he's not very good at talking to Imperials.
I think we'll take this as far as we can with her and Nix there, because I'm sure she's got to get back to work. But definitely, Jix will try to imply maybe dinner later tonight also.
For the triumph. Oh yeah, she's she's like, well, she looks at her watch like, oh, Nix and I got to get back to work. Well, I get off work at 7.
Shall we do it here, or is there somewhere else better that would be?
Meet me at the end of the walkway out of the center. No one should accost you that much.
It was a pleasure meeting you. And I'll give her a little sweet kiss on the knuckles.
Ooh. And
firm handshake to Nix, and hopefully he's not too drunk.
He's had a few beers, but
I don't want him face down in the toilet.
And as Aaron and Jix walk out of the cantina, the scene fades to black, and that is where we're going to end episode 9 of Legitimate Enterprise. Yeah. Freeze frame. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Baba O'Reilly starts playing.
Meanwhile, the people from episode 1 be going, I've been waiting for them to ship, man. Totally. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Real quick, we're just going to go around one more time. Introduce ourselves one last time so the good people know who we are and where we can find more of them. So, Aaron, who are you? Where can people find more of you?
My name is Duncan Hunter. I go by Too Much Thought on the internet, though I'm gearing up to make content. I haven't really started, so I don't make content. I play Aaron Gunner, human bounty hunter, and assembler of teams.
All right.
Our fearless leader.
Yes.
My captain, my captain.
Echo, who are you, and where can the people find more of you?
I'm J.L. Holloway, our Hall Hideaway. You are online, and you can find me over at twitch.tv/Hall Hideaway. tomorrow at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. for 2 different D&D sessions.
Very nice. Exel, who are you, and where can the people find more of you?
I'm a Necro. I go by Necro Matador on mostly Twitter and Tumblr are where I tend to frequent. It's been a lot more Twitter lately. I post art occasionally of my many and varied tabletop game characters. There are a lot of them, along with amusing quotes and other stuff. So check me out if you want to. No pressure.
Lots of pressure. Look at me.
Much pressure, yes. Pay attention to my awesome friends. Vrel, who are you, and where can the good people find more of you?
Hi, my name's Kelsey. I go by Kelsey Rising online for the most part, though none of my usernames are consistent, but that doesn't matter because I don't really produce content. I'm just some fuck on the internet.
Aren't we all? So say we all. And Jix, who are you, and where can people find more of you?
I'm Drake Finney. You can find me everywhere on social media as Drake Finney because I have no original names that I could come up with.
You're not hip with the kids.
No, I'm not, because everyone back in my day, because there was a story. I was actually Rune Dwarf when I had my first email address, but then everyone in business said, "Oh, you can't do that. That's fantasy. You can't do that." And so I went with the Drake Finney on everything, and now it's like, hey, I should have been Rune Dwarf, but now it's taken.
Yeah, because now it's like, oh, brand identity.
Exactly. I totally had it back in the 90s, back when we started with 360 dial-up.
What could have been?
Yep.
Just sadly.
Yeah, but now I'm getting back into this stuff. The school year is about to wrap up for those last of us that are still doing the teaching thing for students online distance. And after that, then I'm going to be playing a lot of games on here and trying to figure out when we're going to open up so I can teach the next year's group of kids.
Excellent. And I am the GM here, Lazy Bones, and you can find me right here. I keep saying I'm going to be streaming actual video games. I should probably do that soon because I play a lot of video games now to fill the void. And so, yeah, tune in. We play this every Saturday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and as you can see, it's a blast. I can't promise every episode is going to be a heist, but I am always excited to see what sort of shenanigans the crew here gets into every week. So thank you all for playing. I had a great time today, and thank you all out there for tuning in. Hope to see you next week, and we'll see you around the galaxy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.